sun rises over Oakhaven not with a shout, but with a hum. Laura awakens without the jarring intrusion of an alarm, stretching beneath a heavy duvet that smells faintly of lavender and cold morning air. It is Saturday, a day with no deadlines or expectations. She lies there for a while, letting the quiet settle over her save for the gentle ticking of a clock in the kitchen. She is in no rush as she slides her feet into a pair of thick, Sherpa-lined slippers. She moves through her kitchen with deliberate slowness. She grinds coffee beans. The whirring sound grounds her in the present. As the water heats, she opens the back door just an inch to feel the breeze. The scent of damp earth and fallen oak leaves rushes in, crisp and invigorating. She pours the coffee into her favourite mug, one with a thumb rest and a deep cobalt glaze. She sits by the window and watches a squirrel navigate the stone wall in her garden, its tail a frantic, beautiful plume of grey. This is the first gift of the day, the realization that she has nowhere to be. By mid-morning, Laura finds herself wandering down Main Street. The town of Oakhaven is dressed in its autumnal best. Garlands of dried hops and orange berries drape over the shop signs, and the air is thick with the smell of roasting nuts from a street cart. She walks with her hands in her coat pockets, her cashmere scarf tucked snugly up to her chin. She has no map, only the whim of her curiosity. She stops in front of the Gilded Page, the local bookstore, where the owner, Mr. Henderson, is sweeping the cobblestones just outside the entrance. "Morning," he calls out, his voice bright but warm. He leans on his broom, squinting happily at the sun. "Fine day for a walk." "It's perfect, Mr. Henderson," Laura replies, stopping to admire a display of vintage botany books in the window. "How is the shop?" "Slow. Just how I like it on a Saturday morning," he chuckles. "I just put a fresh pot of cider on the heater in the back if you're looking to warm up. Help yourself." I might just do that. Thank you." She spends an hour in the stacks. There is no efficiency here. She pulls books from the shelves based on the texture of their spines or the intrigue of their titles. She reads a poem about a heron, looks at a map of a fictional kingdom, and enjoys the muffled silence that only thousands of pages can provide. Leaving the bookstore with a paper-wrapped parcel under her arm, Laura follows the sound of a distant cello. She finds a young man playing in a park just off Main Street, the music weaving through the town like silk ribbon. She sits on a wooden bench near the gazebo. A woman sitting at the other end, knitting, looks up and smiles. "The acoustics are lovely here, aren't they?" the woman asks, her needles clicking to their own rhythm. "They really are," Laura says. "It feels like the whole town is exhaling." "That's why I love it here." The woman holds up her work. "Third stocking cap this week. The grandbabies will be warm at least." They sit in a comfortable, shared silence for a while, two strangers enjoying the same melody and the same sun. Laura feels a profound sense of peace. In the city, silence between strangers can feel heavy, but in Oakhaven there are no strangers. As her appetite wakes up, Laura wanders toward the Hearth Bakery. The doorbell jingles as she enters, and she is immediately hit by a wall of warmth and the heavenly scent of yeast and brown butter. "Just in time," says Martha the baker, whose flour-dusted apron bears the marks of a busy morning. She's holding a tray of tarts, topped with poached pears. "I was just about to put these out. Or are you in a savoury mood today?" "I think I'm going with the flow," Laura says with a laugh. "What does the day feel like to you, Martha?" Martha taps her chin, leaving a small white smudge. It feels like a bowl of creamy potato and leek soup with a crust of sourdough to dunk, and maybe a ginger snap for the walk home. That sounds divine. Laura takes her soup to a small bistro table in the corner. She watches the locals come and go, a young couple sharing a pastry, an old man reading the paper, a child pressing their nose against the glass of the cookie case. She eats slowly, savouring the velvety texture of the soup and the sharp, salty crunch of the bread. She feels nourished, not just by the food, but by the slow, steady pulse of the community around her. The afternoon is spent by the river. Laura finds a path that leads away from the shops and into a grove of ancient oaks. The leaves underfoot are a thick carpet of copper and gold, making every step sound like a crackling fire. She finds a spot where the river widens into a pool, the water so clear she can see the smooth, speckled stones at the bottom. She sits on a flat rock and simply exists. She doesn't think about Monday. She doesn't think about chores. She watches the way the light hits the water, creating diamonds that dance across the surface. A dog, a friendly, scruffy terrier, trots up to her, followed by a man in a waxed canvas jacket. "Pardon me, he's a bit of a socialite," the man says with an apologetic grin as the dog sniffs Laura's boots. "He's wonderful," she says, scratching the dog behind the ears. "He looks like he's having the best Saturday." "He doesn't have a worry in the world," the man agrees. "Enjoy the river. It's particularly blue today." As the sky turns a deep indigo, Laura makes her way back toward her cottage. The street lamps of Oakhaven flicker to life, casting long, soft shadows. The air has grown colder, and she pulls her coat tighter, enjoying the contrast between the chill air and the warm glow of the windows she passes. She reaches her front door and turns the key. The house is waiting for her, dim and cozy. She lights a single candle on the mantel, the flame dancing in the draught. She puts the paper-wrapped parcel from the Gilded Page on a small, round side table. Instead of a large production for dinner, she settles into a deep armchair by the mantelpiece. She eats the remaining potato and leek soup, dips the last of the sourdough crust into it, and then unwraps the ginger snap for a perfect, spicy finish. It is a quiet, deliberate meal, consumed while looking out of the window at the now dark garden, where the moon is beginning to cast a silvered glow on the oak leaves. The candle flame is steady now, casting an intimate circle of light. She unwraps the book. It is a collection of fables, something she hadn't known she needed until she saw the title. She carries the vanilla-scented candle to her bedroom. Sliding back beneath the heavy duvet, she listens to the gentle ticking of the kitchen clock, now a companion in the stillness. She feels the weight of the day not as tiredness, but as a deep, soul-level saturation of peace. With a final deep, contented exhale, Laura blows out the candle and lets the hum of Oakhaven carry her into a dreamless, restorative sleep.